That's cool. My name's Steve. This is Classified Captures, and if we got an episode for you, so don't you go anywhere. What would you do if you looked out of your window at dawn and saw this? We're past the point where UFOs just appear and disappear without a trace. Now it feels like we're starting to see it happen. An eyewitness captures this from their window early in the morning. At first, it's just a strange object moving through the sky. Then it stops completely still. And then it happens. A glowing green square forms in the sky, clear, defined, almost like something is happening. The object just moves straight through it. Seconds later, it closes, and just like that, it's gone. This looks exactly like something out of a movie. A craft enters, a portal opens, and then seals itself shut, except this is not a film. This was recorded in a normal neighborhood at dawn. People are split on what it could be. Some think it's a portal to another dimension. Others believe it's advanced technology, a different way of traveling entirely. And then there are those who think it's staged, but it looks real enough to make you question it. Now you've seen it, so what do you think just happened? We all know who Michel Lamy is, a fashion designer with a very distinct and unsettling aesthetic. But this clip has the paranormal community talking, and once you see it, you'll understand why. In the footage, she's sitting with children. At one point, she pulls a child close to her side, nothing unusual at first. And then this happens. Within seconds, the camera catches her raising her hand to her mouth. The movement is slow, deliberate. And then there's something about it that feels off. It's hard to explain, but, well, it leaves you with an uneasy feeling when you watch it. That's where the theories begin. Some people believe this is more than just a random gesture. Those who follow darker theories around certain circles in Hollywood think she may have been drawing energy from the child. Ideas like energy harvesting, eternal youth, and ritual practices have been discussed for years, and this clip has quickly found its way into that conversation. Others say it's nothing, just an eccentric moment from someone known for being unconventional. But watch it closely. What do you think she was actually doing in that moment? Oh, that's a cool little guy. This is what's now clever when it comes to AI and stuff. Firstly, this is supposedly taken in the 90s. Now, we know very well that you can make, camera filters to make it look like something's filmed in the 80s and 90s and all this sort of stuff. Which means, as far as I'm concerned, I'm pretty sure that this is just AI and then a filter has been put across it to make it look a lot older than it actually is. That's just my guess. But as far as what everyone else is concerned, well, they think it's some kind of no more tree creature or something like that. I don't know. I don't know. Stranger things have been found in the world. Speaking of strange things, this has been sent into us. Something in the sky. Let's take a look. What? What's in the sky? It's clouds. What's so strange? Are you seeing something I'm not? That's just lens flare. Isn't it? Isn't it? Is that just lens flare? Okay, I get it. I get it. That is a bit weird. Anyone here know what that is? Let us know in the comments section, would you please? Because quite frankly, I'm drawing a blank. And I don't think this is AI or anything, because it's just too random and weird to just, no one would just sit at their computer and go, I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make a lens flare look like it's an alien or something. Since when did people started putting parasites in a pen and selling them? Well, this is apparently a thing since 2021 in Japan, and it's doing well enough that people are still talking about it. This pen was created by hobbyists, and inside it, swimming in oil, are anisakis, actual roundworms, alive, just moving around in something you can hold in your hand. Well, I'll be honest, it's a bit weird and also kind of fascinating. The idea is simple. Take something people find disgusting and turn it into a novelty, put it in a clear pen and make it collectible. And somehow it worked. These pens sell for around $6 to $9, and the worms stay alive for a few days before dying. Even after that, they remain suspended in the oil, so the effect does not really go away. It's legal, it's real, and it exists. Somehow this became a thing. Now the real question is, would you carry this around with you? I know I wouldn't. This footage comes from Kalamazoo, sent in by a homeowner named David. His security camera was pointed at his front yard when it picked up something he still cannot explain. At first, everything looks normal. Then look closely at the left side of the frame. Something drops from the sky, it hits the ground and almost instantly moves out of view. But it's how it leaves that stands out. The movement feels intentional, quick, almost like it knew exactly where the camera was and wanted it out of frame. And that is where it gets unsettling. If this is some kind of creature or entity, does it understand where the camera is? Does it realize it's being seen and react? We don't have much to go on, just that it came from above, landed, and disappeared with purpose. Watch it again. What do you think just dropped into that yard that night? Why is it that so many strange moments seem to happen around children? We've seen it again and again, parents capturing things they cannot explain, and there's a belief behind it. The children have a kind of open energy, something that draws in things we cannot see. It's the same idea people point to when they talk about imaginary friends, kids laughing, reacting, interacting with something that's not there to anyone else. Now look at this. A woman was checking her baby monitor. Her baby was awake, standing in the cot, holding the rails completely normal. But then she noticed something else. Right next to the baby's face, there's a shape, faint, almost like smoke, but it's not random. It has a face. You can make out eyes, a mouth, teeth, a head that fades as it goes down. And it doesn't look friendly. She was terrified when she saw it and did not know what to do. Some people tried to explain it away as a guiding spirit, something watching over the child, but others were not convinced. One viewer said it looks like the kind of entity that feeds on fear, something that lingers close and waits. Take another look. If this showed up on your baby monitor, what would you do? A woman was filming in her bathroom. The shower curtain was closed behind her, nothing unusual, until she noticed something in the footage. From inside the shower, just above the edge of the bathtub, something was peeking out, a head still watching her. The moment she sees it, she panics and pulls the curtain open. Nothing. No one inside. The bathtub is empty. Well, now go back and look at it again. The shape does not fully look human. The position is wrong. It doesn't match how a person would be sitting in a tub like that. And here's the part that doesn't add up. The second she opens the curtain, it's gone, in a closed bathroom with nowhere to hide. She ends the video right after. No explanation, no follow-up, just that moment. Take another look. So what do you think was watching her from behind that curtain? This footage dates back to 2000, and it's going viral again for a reason. It's one of the most unsettling animal encounters you will ever see. A wildlife presenter named Lorenzo was out filming with an orangutan. Not just any orangutan, a large dominant male. Now, if you know anything about them, you already understand the risk. Adult males can reach up to 200 pounds, and they are incredibly strong. At first, it seems under control. Then everything changes. The orangutan gets close and grabs him by the neck. From that moment, it's no longer a filming sensation. Lorenzo tries to break free, but the grip doesn't loosen. The crew keeps telling him to stay calm, not to provoke it. And this goes on, not for minutes, for 3 hours. 3 hours of being held by an animal that could end it at any moment. At one point, he says the pressure on his neck felt like it could snap without warning. Eventually, he gets free. You can see it in his face, the shock, the exhaustion, the realization of how close that was. It's easy to forget this when watching from a screen. But these are not pets. No matter how familiar they seem, you're still stepping into that world. And sometimes they remind you of that.
Oh. No, please. Jose, me va a matar.
Don't fight, Lorenzo. Don't fight, Lorenzo.
Oh. Okay. Oh, no. Oh. Oh, no. Oh. Oh, por favor. He sentido mal, ¿no? Porque primero cuando he sentido que me ha cogido ya en serio y que ha empezado a jugar conmigo, me ha estado mordiendo por todos los lados, pero sobre todo la fuerza con la que me ha cogido del cuello, que te das cuenta que te lo puede romper solo con un gesto, ¿no?
The boy on your screen was sweeping his yard with a camera mounted above, capturing everything from overhead. He gathers everything into a neat pile, walks off to grab a dustpan, then suddenly he freezes. The broom's gone. He looks around, checks the ground, retraces his steps, genuinely confused, like it's just vanished into thin air. But from the overhead camera, the truth is obvious the entire time. The broom is tucked right under his armpit. He places it there without thinking and immediately forgot. He eventually gives up, goes inside, and comes back with a second broom to finish the job, and that's when it happens. The original broom drops from under his arm. The boy jumps back like something just appeared out of nowhere, and honestly, from his point of view, it kind of did. This is one of those moments that reminds you how unreliable the brain can be. We've all done it. Glasses on your head while you search everywhere, phone in your hand while you ask where your phone is. But seeing it play out like this is something else. For a split second, it really does look like teleportation. Have you ever had a moment where you were absolutely sure something strange was happening, only to realize it was just you the whole time? If you thought your phone and laptop were already doing too much by listening in and showing you ads for things you only thought about, well, this story takes things to a completely different level. And it comes out of Illinois. A teacher was pulled out of her classroom and arrested by the sheriff's office after having been flagged through an FBI alert. The trigger was not something said in public, it was an AI system, and it was picking up a private Snapchat message she sent to her roommate. According to her, one of her students had accidentally closed her laptop, wiping out her lesson plans for the day. In frustration, she sent a message to her friend saying something along the lines of, "One of my kids just shut my laptop, should I shoot them all?" A clearly emotional venting message, not a literal threat, sent privately to someone she knew. But it was flagged. And from there, things escalated fast. Authorities showed up at her school. Now, to be clear, we're not here for deciding intent, because we don't have the full context of her situation, but what this raises is something much bigger. Private messages being scanned by AI systems, and those systems reporting into law enforcement channels. That is the part that's hard to ignore. It means that the line between private and public is not as solid as most people assume. Not texts, not chats, not even messages meant to stay between two people. Everything can be interpreted, flagged, and escalated. So the real question becomes less about what was said and more about who's listening, because clearly, someone always is.
Here we go. Oh, here she is. Hello. Hi, I'm Deputy Sean with the Sheriff's Office. Do you happen to have your phone on you?
I do, yeah.
Okay, if you want to hand that to me, please?
Yes.
Okay. The reason we're in contact, anything else on you, if you wouldn't mind, just lift up you got any weapons on you?
No.
Okay. All right. The reason we're here is, have you been on Snapchat earlier today?
Yes, I was. I had a lesson plan, and one of the kids turned off my computer on my lesson plan, and I was like, oh, dang, but I never get mad with the kids ever.
What did you snap after that? Did you send out?
No.
Nothing at all?
No.
Yeah, I mean.
What? I'm so confused.
Okay. So what I'm going to show you is the snap we received.
Okay.
That is you, correct?
Oh, yes. But, okay, yes. This was a joke, though, but yes.
Who did you send that to?
That was just just to 3 people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who would be the 3 people?
It was like not a private story, but like a private. Like there's only 3 people on there. Okay, yeah, I'm realizing that was a bad joke. That was a bad joke.
I do got to process you. You're going to have to stay the night in jail. Okay?
Oh my god. This is crazy.
I know.
I did not mean it to get to this
I know.
far. This is insane.
But how today is, I mean, if we said it, I believe you. And
I know.
It's tough. I'm going to be honest, like I said, we were going with what we saw, and so we have to respond that way. And
female octopuses are being observed throwing objects at males who
That's
refuse to
cool.
leave them alone.
This is the octopus equivalent of a man seeing a beautiful woman at a bar and walking up to her just to go, "Hey baby, can I buy you a drink?" And she's rude enough to throw a glass of water in his face or something like that. I'm sorry, I really do think octopuses are not just animals. They're like aliens or something. They're just so crazy intelligent. Am I right in thinking they're supposed to have one of the highest IQs in the animal kingdom? Like very close to us almost?
Female octopuses are being observed throwing objects at males who refuse to leave them alone.
This footage comes back from 2022. A man was at home when he noticed something move through the woods at the back of his property. His yard opens directly into a tree line, so he decided to go and check it out. His dog was already acting strange, restless, alert, fixated on something in the dark. And if you know animals, you know that's never a good sign. He follows the dog into the woods and stops at a specific point. And that's when he pans the camera, and something dark and tall moves fast between the trees. Now the problem is, it's pitch black, the footage gives almost nothing to work with. Whatever this is, it barely registers as a clear shape. It could be a bear moving through the forest, it could be a shadow created by something just outside the frame, or it could be something else entirely. Some people are calling it a shadow person, a figure that appears and disappears in darkness without leaving any trace. Others think it resembles a dogman type encounter based on the height and speed of movement. And through all of this, one thing stands out. The dog knew it was there before anything was even visible on camera. So what are we actually looking at here? A passing animal, a trick of light, or something that doesn't belong in those woods at all?
I saw it through the window. Show. Where is it?
Every now and then we come across footage that makes you pause and ask yourself if what you're seeing is even possible. And these two clips fall right into that category. In the first one, a boy tells his father he can move a stool using his mind. The father doesn't take it seriously at first. He even gets down and physically checks around the stool, running his hands underneath and around it to make sure there are no strings, wires, or anything holding it. Then the boy makes a simple hand gesture, and the stool moves toward him. The father's reaction says it all, pure disbelief, like he was expecting nothing to happen and suddenly had no explanation for what just unfolded in front of him. The second clip is even more unsettling than the first. An elderly woman is standing at a dining table. In front of her is a wine glass. She extends her hands and starts making slow, controlled movements towards it. The glass begins to move, not just once, but back and forth, as if it's responding to her gestures. It shifts towards her, then away, then toward her again. And in the mirror behind her, you can see a family member recording the entire moment, completely still watching it happening in real time. Now, to be fair, we've seen a lot of so-called telekinesis clips over the years, and most of them fall apart under closer inspection. Hidden strings, airflow tricks, camera manipulation. But they still are harder to dismiss at first glance. There's no obvious setup, no clear mechanism, and the people in the room are reacting like they're seeing it for the first time. So it leaves us with a simple question. Are these people actually moving objects with their minds, or are we just watching tricks that are more advanced than they first appear? A group of women decided to take a photograph together when they noticed something unusual in the image. There appears to be an extra person standing behind them. One of the women looked closer and immediately froze. The figure is hazy, human-shaped but not solid, like a woman standing just out of full visibility, not quite fully there, but clearly present in the frame. For most people, that alone would be enough to raise questions, but for one woman, it meant something much more personal. She believes the figure is a deceased mother. According to her, she wears a pendant necklace containing her mother's ashes and carries it with her everywhere she goes. Because of that, she feels her mother has always stayed close, and this time the camera simply captured it. Not everyone agrees, though. Some argue that if this was truly a spirit, it would not appear so casually in a random group photograph like this. They believe these moments tend to be more intentional, more specific. Others suggest something more unsettling, that this may not be her mother at all, but an entity taking on a familiar form, something that presents itself in a comforting way in order to get closer. Either way, the image leaves one question hanging. Was this a mother still watching over a daughter, or something else entirely wearing a face that felt safe enough to believe? If aliens are real and 2026 is the year they decide to stop hiding, Well, then this footage feels like it fits that narrative a little too neatly. Because recently, sightings have been getting harder to ignore. Clearer shapes, longer durations, and moments that don't immediately fall apart under scrutiny. There are two clips that stand out. The first comes from the United States. A disc-shaped object with lights around its edges appears in the sky, partially obscured by clouds. It's not moving, it's just hovering in place. No sudden acceleration, no obvious direction, just stillness. The second clip comes from Norway. And this is where things get more interesting. Two separate witnesses record the same object at the same time from different angles. When you compare the footage, the shape lines up. A flat, circular craft sitting motionless in a clear daytime sky. Two perspectives, same object, same moment. So now people are asking the obvious questions. Is it AI generated? Well, that's always a possibility. Now, an AI has become convincing enough to recreate almost anything. But the Norway case is harder to dismiss casually, especially with multiple independent recordings. The government has said nothing about either case, which only adds to the speculation rather than reducing it. So what are the options here? Advanced human technology being tested in plain sight, misidentified natural or atmospheric phenomenon, or something entirely unknown operating above us without explanation? And the more footage like this appears, the harder it becomes to settle on just one answer. Do you actually read the labels on the food you buy before you eat it? Because if you don't, this might change that habit. On this particular chicken package, the label states that it contains 3% infused water, and that alone raises a question. Chickens don't naturally come packaged with added liquid like that, so where is it coming from? According to the explanation in the footage, chickens in commercial processing are soaked in water during cooling after slaughter. And in some cases, that water may contain additives used during processing, such as preservation solutions or sanitizing agents. The claim is that the meat absorbs part of the water before it's packaged and sent out for sale. So by the time it reaches the store, what you're buying is not just chicken, but chicken that has retained some of that added moisture. There are also food safety guidelines that advise against washing raw chicken at home because it can spread bacteria around kitchen surfaces, which means for many people, the cooking process starts without ever really interacting with what it is that's actually inside the meat. And that is what's unsettling for part of the viewers, because most of us think this is happening quietly behind packaging and labeling that many people have never stopped to read. It makes you wonder how many things we consume every day without really knowing what went into them in the first place.
Closely at this label, it says it contains up to 3% retained water. That means this was put in a bleach bath to disinfect it, but then that chicken absorbed that water and now you're eating it.
If you thought bees were just out here making honey and pollinating flowers, nature has a very different idea. What you're looking at in this hive is not the usual golden honeycomb situation. That pinkish substance is not nectar-based honey. It's meat, actual animal flesh. Well, at least I hope it's all animal. Because these are not ordinary honeybees, these are vulture bees. Found in parts of Central and Southern America, vulture bees are among the only known bees that don't rely on pollen or nectar. Instead, they actively seek out dead animals, feed on the carcasses, and bring fragments of flesh back to the hive. That material becomes part of how they produce their honey. So instead of flowers, the source of their food chain starts with decay. Now here's the part that makes it even more fascinating. Despite that origin, the honey they produce is still edible and reportedly sweet. Their biology processes the proteins from meat in a way that transforms it into something chemically closer to traditional honey than you'd expect. Scientists studying them have found that their gut microbiome contains unique bacteria adapted specifically for breaking down animal tissue, bacteria not seen in other bee species. So you're looking at an insect that completely rewrote the rule book on what a bee is supposed to do. Which leads to the obvious question, would you ever try honey made from meat? Imagine coming home from work to meet this on your stairs instead of your dog trying to get you to pat him or her and wagging the tail to let you know you have been missed. The one who uploaded this strange clip stated that when he arrived home, he was greeted with this strange sight on his stairs. From his perspective, the dog looked more like a person sitting on the stairs. It was unsettling and almost uncanny, so he moved closer. When the dog allegedly noticed its presence, it transformed back into the normal dog. This bizarre visual illusion left everyone online taken aback. Many people were quick to speculate that it might be a skinwalker, a mythical creature believed to have the ability to shapeshift. So what do you think? Is this just a trick of perspective, or could there be something more supernatural at play? Share your thoughts. A group of reporters recently paid a visit to a man with a story that's sure to captivate your imagination. Let's dive in.
He turned and went across the middle of Loch Ness. His sonar picked up this single target.
This one right here?
That one right there.
That is amazing.
Yeah, it's like a bathtub. The sides come straight down like that, so it's totally flat bottomed.
This man is convinced that a mysterious creature was detected in sonar data. According to him, whatever this creature is, it's enormous. So massive, in fact, that he believes it could be a dinosaur. But this begs the question, is it possible? Could this be evidence of a prehistoric beast lurking beneath the surface, or is it something else entirely? What do you think?
He turned and went across the middle of Loch Ness. His sonar picked up this single target.
This one right here?
That one right there.
That is amazing.
Yeah, it's like a bathtub. The sides come straight down like that, so it's totally flat bottomed.
And yes, it did throw a rock at the one filming. Petty, but interesting. The Statue of Liberty has been under scrutiny for a lot of things. Some even theorize that there was a secret facility in there, or that it was a place where people were mass murdered, and so much more. These theories are nothing new and have been there for a long time. The man who allegedly built the statue said that the US authorities requested that the pedestal on which the statue stood be made very large, but for what reasons he didn't know. After the statue was built, it was said that people who lived by it, which was mostly immigrants, complained of a foul smell coming from the area where the statue was situated. A woman who was interviewed said that it smelled like rotten flesh in a slaughterhouse. She said at night she would see people being lined up and led to the statue by officials.
L'Island era orribile. L'intero posto puzzava di carne, come un mattatoio. C'erano anche uccelli morti ovunque, e mia sorella ne trovò persino uno nel gabinetto. Se già la costa è così, diceva mio padre, immaginate quanto puzzeranno le città. Ricordo di aver sentito altre famiglie dire quasi scherzosamente che volessero tornare a Milano per via dell'odore. La mia famiglia aveva spruzzato profumo e acceso candele per tenere lontano il fetore, ma funzionava solo per un'ora o giù di lì, finché l'aria diventava di nuovo insopportabile. Le serate erano così calde, rimasi per lo più sveglia, anche se il resto della mia famiglia dormiva profondamente. Ricordo che guardavo fuori dalla finestra ogni notte e vedevo figli di persone che venivano condotte alla Statua della Libertà dai funzionari. Se solo fossero saliti sul piedistallo, i funzionari se ne sarebbero andati e non sarebbe successo nient'altro. La mattina seguente però ci sarebbe stato un odore peggiore, come un mattatoio.
Naturally, people started believing things, including the fact that there was some sort of creature in there that was being fed humans. This led to the infamous emergence of the 1889 Liberty Lurker interviews, but later it was all written off as a fake. Now scratch everything I've just said and take a look at this comment. Yes, this scenario I just described is supposed to be a hypothetical and not so real story, or is it? What are your thoughts on it? A subscriber sent in this rather intriguing footage. In the video, a machine is seen pulling something out of what appears to be a sewer or a tank filled with murky substances. The details are scant, but according to the sender, they pulled out a monster, specifically a demon. Upon closer inspection, it seems more likely that the figure being pulled out is a person covered in a thick, unidentifiable substance. The footage doesn't provide enough clarity to definitely say whether it's a monster or a person, but the latter seems more plausible given the context. What do you think, though? While confirming the authenticity of the previous clip was up for debate, this next one is definitely not. Tell me I'm not the only one who thought that this was a strange cloud. Imagine my shock when this supposed cloud fell to the ground. I had to watch the clip again, and it was only then that I realized that this was no cloud, but instead it was a giant snake, maybe a python on a power line. The big question is, how did it get up there? I can come up with a number of scenarios, but I'd want to hear your thoughts. How do you think it got up there? And do you think it was electrocuted, or did it just lose its balance? I'll be reading your comments. This footage is a subscriber send-in, and it's definitely intriguing. This person was out on a boat at sea one night when he noticed something unusual in the waters below, a large fishtail. What makes this even more fascinating is that the tail didn't just resemble any ordinary fish, it had a distinct, almost otherworldly appearance, leading them to believe it could be the tail of a mermaid. The footage has sparked a lot of debate online. Some viewers are convinced that this is evidence of mermaids existing in our oceans. Others, however, are more skeptical, suggesting it could be a large fish or marine creature that simply looks unusual in the dim light of night. Some even speculate that it might be a clever hoax, perhaps using props or CGI to create the illusion of a mermaid tail. But the mystery remains. If it's not a mermaid, what exactly could it be? Could there be undiscovered species in the depths of our ocean, or is it all just a trick of the eye? Take a look at this fascinating water phenomenon, and yes, those are ice spheres floating on the water.
Oh, icy right here?
At first glance, these ice balls might seem like they were crafted and placed there intentionally, but they are in fact naturally formed. These ice spheres are created by the movement of water currents. As the water moves, it shapes the ice into smooth round balls. This mesmerizing natural process showcases the incredible and often unexpected ways in which nature operates. Isn't it amazing how nature can create such perfectly shaped ice spheres without any human intervention? Have you seen these or touched them before? Care to share your experience?
Icy right here?
Stepping away from nature, let's move on to something man-made, a lifelike robot that doubles as a waitress at a hotspot restaurant in China. If not for her robotic movements, it would be hard to tell if this is a human or a machine. At this point, I don't know if I should feel excited about this technological marvel or freaked out by how realistic it is. Just watch her. She serves food gracefully for a machine and even picks up a paper and pen for someone. It's both fascinating and a little eerie to see how far robotics have come. What are your thoughts on this invention? Is it a step forward in technological innovation, or does it bring up concerns about the future of human interaction and employment? Let us know what you think. Did you know stars can die? Someone captured a video of a bluish light in the sky resembling a splash of color. This phenomenon is related to the life cycle of stars, which are powered by nuclear fusion. Gravity holds stars together, counteracting the immense pressure from fusion reactions. This bluish light represents a star in its final moments, a spectacular cosmic event known as a supernova. When a star exhausts its nuclear fuel, it can no longer sustain the pressure needed to counteract the force of gravity. The star then collapses in on itself, resulting in a massive explosion that releases an immense amount of energy, creating that brilliant splash of color you see in the sky. The remnants of these stellar explosions often form beautiful nebulae, vast clouds of gas and dust that can eventually give birth to new stars. While this is beautiful, it's also a bit sad. It made me go out and look at our bright orange sun, wondering when that would also decide to give up on us. Call Elon a madman, but maybe, just maybe, he might be onto something that might save the entire human race in the near future. Think about it. In Mexico, a giant anomaly was spotted on the radar. This mysterious phenomenon appeared in the night sky and looked so out of this world that it quickly captured everyone's attention. It was a circle of light with smaller orbs, all shaped like saucers, creating an almost otherworldly display. People who witnessed it in real life were stunned, and the radar images only added to the intrigue. Some believe that this is just some sort of energy phenomenon, possibly related to natural atmospheric conditions, but others are convinced that this is a UFO or alien related, pointing to the distinct shapes and unusual behavior of the lights. What do you think? Is this an example of advanced alien technology visiting our planet, or could there be a more mundane explanation for these mysterious lights? I bet you thought that was a mouse, right? I mean, that would have been my first guess, but for its unusual movements and, well, its very unusual face. Typically, creatures its size have two eyes, but this guy seems to have one huge one. What's more, its hands or paws, wait, can we call it that? Well, never mind. Back to what I was saying, its paws are cat-like, if I'm right. These features combined give you a very strange creature. Think of it as a cat-human-rat hybrid. That's the best I can come up with. What do you guys think? Is this thing really real, or is someone out there just messing with us? While taking a walk along the road during sundown, someone came across a glowing orb floating just a little above the ground. It hovered there for a while before slowly starting to fly away. Glowing orbs like this have been spotted all over the world, yet their true nature remains a mystery. Some people believe these orbs are related to alien activity, suggesting they might be probes or even manifestations of extraterrestrial presence. Others think they're natural light phenomena, such as ball lighting or swamp gas, which can produce similar visual effects under certain conditions. Skeptics, on the other hand, argue that many of these sightings are hoaxes created through clever use of technology or optical illusions. You can see the clip, and if you've been on this channel since day 0, you have seen us feature a lot of clips involving them as well. What do you personally think of them? Meet the caecilian. These are often mistaken for giant worms due to their appearance, but they're actually limbless amphibians. Caecilians are fascinating creatures that many people have never heard of. They look like a cross between a worm and a snake, with smooth, segmented bodies that can grow quite large. Unlike worms, caecilians have a backbone, making them more closely related to frogs and salamanders. These mysterious amphibians live primarily underground or in aquatic environments, which is why they're rarely seen by humans. Caecilians have unique adaptations that help them thrive in their hidden habitats. For example, they have a strong bony skull that allows them to burrow through soil or sediment with ease. There's a popular rumor that the babies eat their mothers, but that's not quite true. While caecilian babies do not eat their mothers in the typical sense, they do exhibit a fascinating behavior known as dermatophagy, where the young feed on the mother's skin. In certain oviparous caecilian species, the mother grows a special nutrient-rich layer of skin after the eggs hatch, which the young scrape off and consume with specialized teeth. This skin-feeding behavior provides essential nutrients for the growing young and helps them develop more quickly. The mother is not harmed as the specialized skin regenerates, ensuring she continues to nourish her offspring until they are ready to fend for themselves. This unique form of parental care is a remarkable adaptation that aids in the survival of the young in environments where food may be scarce. Interesting, right? A security guard was working the late-night shift when he started to hear and feel strange things around him. Curious and a bit unsettled, he took out his camera and ventured into the hallway to investigate. As he panned his camera around, he captured something truly chilling. By that object over there, a dark figure appeared from the corner and peeked at him before vanishing. It was as if the figure was aware of being watched and quickly disappeared into the shadows. The footage shows a moment that would send shivers down anyone's spine. The figure's sudden appearance and disappearance are both mysterious and unsettling. What could this be? Was it a trick of the light, a shadow, or something more sinister? The guard was understandably spooked, and others who have seen the footage are just as baffled. What do you think this dark figure could be? Quick question. If an alligator was hot near your heels and there was a fence in front of you, would you climb it to escape? After all, alligators can't climb, right? Well, that's what I used to think until I saw this clip. Yup, that's an alligator captured on camera climbing over a metal barrier. Although it took some time and effort, the alligator eventually made its way over the fence and plopped onto the ground on the other side, continuing its journey toward the nearby water. Before you come into the comments section and scream paid actor, please note that this actor was not paid for this gig. Alligators can be dangerous creatures even though they might look adorable from a distance. This remarkable display of agility reminds us that alligators are not to be underestimated. They can overcome obstacles we might not expect them to. Next time you see one, keep your distance. Who knows what more tricks they've got under their sleeves. There are many unusual jobs in the world, and you might be surprised at how dangerous and deadly some of them can be. Yet, people still risk their lives daily to perform these tasks. One such job is jellyfish harvesting. This occupation is primarily seen in Asia, where jellyfish are considered a delicacy. The process of harvesting jellyfish, however, is incredibly risky. Take a look at this man standing precariously on a small wooden ladder placed across a boat's edge. With a rake in hand, he scoops jellyfish from the ocean and places them into the boat, which is often filled to the brim with these stinging creatures. Should the man fall into the boat or the ocean, he risks severe jellyfish stings, which can be extremely painful and potentially life-threatening. Despite the dangers, these harvesters continue their work. While this may be dangerous, I have a hard time deciding if it's more dangerous than being a volcanologist. And yes, that's a real thing too. It has to do with scientists who venture near erupting volcanoes to conduct research and carry out various tests. The inherent dangers of being close to an active volcano range from lava flows to toxic gases are significant. Imagine missing your step and coming into contact with extremely hot lava that's actually capable of melting your flesh on contact. Scary, huh? Nevertheless, volcanologists brave these risks to study and understand volcanic activity. Looking at these two jobs, which would you prefer? This video was taken by a family living near their barn surrounded by wooden areas. In the middle of the night, they were abruptly woken by their dog barking furiously. Concerned, they decided to go outside and check what was causing the commotion. What they found was truly unsettling. Standing behind the fence were three short creatures about 3 to 4 feet tall. They had round faces with long extended occipits, resembling the classic depiction of extraterrestrials, much like the character E.T. from the famous movie. Their skin was pale, almost glowing in the darkness, and they stood eerily still, all three of them facing the house. The sight of these alien-like beings just standing there in the night is very disturbing. The video has sparked endless debates online, with some claiming it is undeniable proof of alien life, while others remain skeptical, suggesting it could be a well-executed hoax. What do you think? Imagine being on your way to wherever you're going and then coming across this. That's definitely not normal. The one who uploaded this clip claimed it happened at a spot that's known for strange and, quote, demonic occurrences. He didn't explain what he meant by demonic, but looking at this, I can tell it was not gonna be good. Is there a logical reason for this, though? Well, I asked Julius, and like everything else, he had an answer for this. It's apparently called a death spiral. The term in insects typically refers to a phenomenon observed in social insects like ants, particularly army ants, where they become disorientated and begin to follow one another in a continuous circle until they eventually die from exhaustion. This behavior is often the result of a breakdown in their navigational systems, which usually rely on pheromone trails. When these trails form a closed loop, the ants can become trapped in a cycle, continuously following the scent without realizing they're going in circles. This behavior highlights the highly cooperative but sometimes rigid nature of insect society, where individuals follow simple rules that can lead to complex behaviors, including disastrous ones like these death spirals. So basically, nothing demonic, at least based on this explanation, but what do you think? Do you know what an obsidian blade is? No? Well, today is your lucky day. Take a look. This blade is known as an obsidian blade. It's the sharpest blade in the world, crafted from volcanic glass or lava. Believe it or not, their incredible sharpness far surpasses that of traditional steel scalpels. The edge of an obsidian blade can be just a few molecules thick, allowing it to cut with astonishing precision. Given these features, they're highly valued not only by archaeologists and historians for their historical significance, but also by modern surgeons for certain delicate surgical procedures. Imagine wielding a blade so sharp it can split cells without crushing them. That's the power of the Obsidian blade. Isn't it interesting how this ancient technology honed by civilization like the Aztecs and Mayans continues to find relevance in today's world? What is that? It definitely doesn't look like any sort of creatures that we're used to seeing, right? So what are we dealing with here? Well, it's online because the people who posted it didn't know what it was either. This was recorded somewhere in China. The creature was spotted by one of the colleagues of the one filming. They initially thought it was a crocodile, but after considering the thought for a while, they realized that would have been virtually impossible given their location. Crocs don't exactly live there. When they got close enough to take a look, they realized that the creature could easily pass for a croc, eel, or maybe a long shot, a sea snake, depending on where you're standing, of course. The bizarre thing, however, was that the creature was none of these things, necessitating them to upload it in the hopes of getting answers. Now, I've seen it, and I must say, it is confusing. Unfortunately, Julius, our science whiz, has gone on one of those science expeditions for the greater good and is without cell service there. Basically, all I'm trying to say is, I don't know what this is, and I can't confirm if it's real or not. Can you? If you thought that was weird, then I wonder what you'll make of this. It's not every day you see a large reptilian creature roaming the great outdoors. It feels like a mix between a dinosaur and the large reptilian creatures you see on kids' shows. It also reminds me a little of the iguana, but that's a much smaller reptilian compared to this. If you're wondering where we got it, an anonymous person uploaded it on one of our paranormal platforms, stating they ran into it while exploring the great outdoors. Running away is an understatement. If I ever met something like that in the wild, I may evolve and gain the ability to fly, but that's just the one thing many don't think is real. Could it be that this was created using CGI, or are we dealing with the real thing here? This image sparked quite a bit of debate when it was shared online in 2022. The creature in question has matted brown fur and was seen lying in the river. The person who took the photo couldn't make out its face, and its proportions were unusual, leaving many puzzled. The creature didn't seem to match the characteristics of a bear or any known ape species. Its strange appearance has left viewers scratching their heads, with some speculating that it might be a Bigfoot, although even that theory seems uncertain. With no clear identification, this mysterious creature continues to be a subject of curiosity. What do you think it could be? A homeowner shared this intriguing footage online. Their motion sensor security camera went off one morning around 9 a.m., and when they went out to check what it was, this is what they found. There was a luminous entity on the small pool in their backyard. According to the homeowner, it wasn't a reflection of the sun, but some sort of glowing creature moving on the water's surface. One commenter suggested that this could be a portal, as water is often considered a good conduit for various beings to transport. And while that definitely sounds very interesting, there were some who were skeptical. Take this individual, for instance. She really believed it was the reflection of the sun, and she had salient points to back up her claim. But if there's anything I've learned in my few years of doing this, is that things aren't always what they seem to be, or not to be. What do you guys think, though? Kindly share your thoughts. Next, we got another clip that fits the category of the strange and bizarre. Take a look. For context, this was captured by a young man on his family's property. It was supposed to be a night like any other when strange things started to happen. There was just this uneasiness in the atmosphere that he was not alone. Being the curious person that he is, he stepped out to take a look. Perhaps just to confirm it was all in his mind. When he stepped out, though, he realized he was out of his mind. He'd potentially put himself in harm's way because there was actually something out there. He frantically moves around trying to make sure he's safe, and the video ends shortly after. The question on everyone's mind is, what was that, and is the young lad safe? It turns out he's actually, because the clip couldn't have been uploaded otherwise. Everyone is convinced that he encountered an alien, and I can understand why they think that. The clip is so dark that it could be anything. This happened somewhere in America, which led one member of one of these paranormal platforms to ask the all-important question: why are these things typically common in America? I thought about it for a second, and this crazy idea came to me. If there are aliens out there, perhaps they've done their research and watched a lot of Earth movies. If they have, then they have seen that America always saves the world in these movies. If I were an alien doing research, I would certainly like to check out my biggest potential threat. What do you guys think? So, someone sent us this clip. At first, we didn't know what to make of it, but after watching it over and over and over again, it appears to show recurrent shapes that appear in nature. It's supposed to be some big mystery with possibly some giant and alien origins, but we seem to be missing it. Can you be of any help? A rural farmer had set up a trail camera on his property to monitor activity and see what came and went. The first few weeks had been uneventful until one day he discovered he'd captured something far more unsettling than he anticipated. In the image, there was a ghostly figure in a robe. The entity looked hazy, almost as if it were in motion, leaving a trail of blurred movement in the photo. The farmer was shocked and disturbed by what he saw. He then uploaded it online, seeking answers. Others, however, thought it was just a person running, which could explain the ghostly appearance of the figure in the image. It's interesting considering the possibilities of what this could be. Trail cameras often capture wildlife, but sometimes they seem to pick up things that defy conventional explanation. This particular image adds to the growing collection of mysterious sightings captured by such cameras. So what do you think? Ghost or human? Share your thoughts and any similar experiences you might have had. We'd love to hear what you think about this spooky sighting. Someone captured a strange-looking phenomenon in the sky, a dark figure shaped like a fish. Yup, that's a giant fish in the sky, but last I checked, there's no ocean up there, so what could a fish be doing in the sky? Well, remember what I said about things not always being what they seem. Some members of the community believe this might be the perfect example of that. They suggested that this might be evidence of the firmament. The firmament theory posits that there is a dome over the Earth separating our sky from a large body of water. And according to this theory, space doesn't exist as we know it. This dome, according to them, supposedly explains why a fish-like object could appear in the clouds. While that does sound interesting, some believe this is merely a projection from the Blue Beam Project. If you are new here, it's a conspiracy theory suggesting that certain images can be projected into the sky to create illusions. Skeptics, on the other hand, have their explanations. A sect of them argue that this is simply a shadow or a trick of the light, whereas others think it might be a blimp. Someone shared a video online claiming to have captured footage of Bigfoot. The creature in question appeared to be hairy with red glowing eyes and white fur. However, the face looked too off to fit the typical description of Bigfoot, causing skepticism among viewers. Most people who saw the footage weren't convinced it was genuine. The consensus was that it looked more like a person in a costume than an actual paranormal creature. The odd facial features and the overall appearance led many to believe it was a hoax. What do you think? Could this be a genuine sighting of Bigfoot, or is it just another clever costume designed to fool viewers? Have you ever wondered about the eating habits of a Sasquatch? Most accounts suggest they eat berries and fruits. Deer hunters also report spotting the creatures lingering around their hunting sites after a kill, and people often find deer carcasses around Bigfoot hotspots. Is this all hinting that these ape-like humanoids are omnivorous, meaning that they eat both plants and animals like humans do? Reports from eyewitnesses and researchers often describe Sasquatch foraging for berries, nuts, and other fruits in the wild. This aligns with the diet of many large primates who rely on vegetation for sustenance. The presence of berry bushes and fruit trees in areas with frequent Sasquatch sightings supports this theory. However, the reports from deer hunters add an intriguing layer to our understanding. Hunters have observed Sasquatch near their hunting grounds, sometimes after a kill, suggesting that these creatures might scavenge or even hunt for meat. The discovery of deer carcasses in Bigfoot hotspots strengthens the argument that Sasquatch may have a diverse diet, including animal proteins. If Sasquatch is indeed omnivorous, this dietary flexibility could explain how they survive in various environments, from dense forests to mountainous regions. Here we have a close-up of someone's thigh, and the muscles are twitching intensely. This is definitely muscle spasms, and it looks very painful. To provide some context, muscle spasms or muscle cramps are sudden, involuntary contractions of a muscle or group of muscles. They can be extremely painful and may last for a few seconds to several minutes. These spasms can occur in any muscle in the body, but are most common in the legs, particularly the thighs and calves. There are many potential causes for muscle spasms. They can be triggered by overuse of the muscle during physical activity, dehydration, or a lack of minerals such as potassium or magnesium. In some cases, that might be linked to medical conditions like nerve compression, insufficient blood supply, or even certain medications. Seeing muscle spasms up close like this really highlights how intense and uncomfortable they can be. Have you ever had a muscle spasm? What was it like, and how did you deal with it? Some believe that aliens are already living among us, despite the government not giving us enough proof and mostly debunking all the claims. A couple recently shared some intriguing footage that has fueled this speculation further.
Aliens.
Look! What?
In the video, a strange light appears in the night sky, significantly brighter and larger than any star. What's even more puzzling is how the light seems to glitch, flickering erratically. Moments later, another similar light materializes above it, and the first one vanishes almost as if they're playing a game of hide-and-seek in the sky. The couple who captured this footage is convinced that these lights are extraterrestrial. But what do you think? Could this be a mere weather phenomenon or something more mundane like a drone or a satellite? Or is it possible that they are indeed signs of alien presence, as the couple believes? Share your thoughts.
Is there something behind you?
No.
I live in Oakville, Tennessee, which is right outside of Jackson, and this is going all the way around my neighbor's house. It's almost like whatever this was jumped from my backyard over my fucking house and then just disappeared. The size of my footprint.
A TikTok user named Jessica shared some scary footage on TikTok. She had just gotten home from a late-night shift when she noticed some strange prints along her home. These were no ordinary prints. They were long and had 2 claw-like marks and hoof marks, making them look very odd and unsettling. The prints were significantly larger than her feet, leaving her wondering what could have made them. Well, she didn't have to wonder as long as whatever was responsible for the prints showed itself, but only for a few seconds because it escaped from her home. From her account, it didn't look like any creature she'd ever seen, and judging by the prints she saw, she didn't have to even mention it. We can tell. They don't resemble those of bears or wolves. The whole thing freaked and shook her up. She's brave to keep living there, though, and by herself as well, especially while working night shifts. Now, I turn my sights on you guys. What creature do you think could be responsible for this whole saga? Could it be an unknown animal, something supernatural, or perhaps even a prank? Share your thoughts.
Oakville, Tennessee, which is right outside of Jackson. And this is going all the way around my neighbor's house. It's almost like whatever this was jumped from my backyard over my fucking house and then just disappeared. The size of my footprint. Y'all see this? The size of my fucking footprint. There ain't no damn bird that damn big.
So clips have been coming from across the globe featuring tiny reflective lights in the atmosphere. The clips have come in from places in the USA, Mexico, and even places like Brazil. Although slightly different, all the clips have one thing in common. These things suddenly appear in the sky for some minutes before they're no longer seen. This has led some to conclude that this is the result of a secret government project. While that sounds interesting, Aaron has a different take. He doubts governments around the world would be working together on a single piece of technology. He thinks that would only happen if the world was ending. Aaron believes that what we are seeing could be an alien mothership in our atmosphere cloaking itself. He thinks that the cloaking technology doesn't always work well, which is why we see those lights. I know it's quite the stretch, but what do you guys think? This video was shared by a man who experienced a truly bizarre encounter right in his own home, and the most chilling part, it was all captured on his security camera. In the video, you can see him walk in and casually hang his jacket on the staircase. Everything seems normal as he heads to the side room, only to come back out moments later with a bottle of water in hand. But then, something utterly inexplicable happens. Out of nowhere, a dark mass appears, hovering in the air around him. The shadowy figure seems to defy the laws of physics as it floats closer, almost as if it's watching him. Suddenly, the man is lifted off his feet, carried by this mysterious force, and pulled back into the very room he just came from. Yeah, you heard that right. The man was actually floating. This strange phenomenon has left many viewers divided. Some are convinced this is a genuine paranormal event, while others believe it's a clever hoax, an eerie trick of video editing. But what do you make of it? In Southern California, an unusual sighting in the night sky caused quite a stir.
It's getting big. Oh my god.
But there's 2 lights up there. Holy shit.
What is that? Oh my god, look at the design. What does it mean?
Captured on camera, a strange patch of what looked like white smoke appeared with 2 glowing orbs embedded within it. The phenomenon was witnessed by many residents, causing widespread concern. Some people thought it was an alien visitation, while others proposed more fantastical ideas, such as a portal to another dimension or something scraping against the supposed firmament above us. There were even theories that the sky above us was an ocean, and that was what we are seeing. However, one commenter provided a more grounded explanation, mentioning that this could be linked to Vandenberg Air Force Base. Upon further investigation, it was confirmed that SpaceX had launched a satellite using a rocket from the Vandenberg Air Force Base in California. The launch, which many people were unaware of, created a spectacular visual in the sky that could easily be mistaken for something otherworldly. Given the current climate of UFO sightings and extraterrestrial theories, it's understandable that many people were quick to jump to conclusions. The sight certainly looked unnatural and otherworldly, almost like something out of a sci-fi movie. What are your thoughts as well when you saw the clip?
Oh my god!
But there's two lights up there. Holy shit.
What is that? Oh my god! Look at the design! What does it mean?
It's really big. Anyway, it's pretty cool. What the hell? No. No.
A truck driver, captivated by the beauty of the full moon one evening, decided to take a video of it for his son while driving. As he was focusing on capturing the perfect shot, something unexpected happened. His truck suddenly bumped into something, causing him to panic and stop the vehicle. Alarmed, he checked the vehicle's camera and saw the figure of a person standing on the road. Given where they were, this was odd, but he still got out to inspect and make sure the person was fine. But here's the thing, no one was there.
Nothing there.
Everyone who heard the incident with him was puzzled, as no one could explain the mysterious figure on the camera as well as the impact felt. If you know anything about the paranormal community, it's that they won't disappoint when it comes to associating this with an otherworldly being. Most believed he had indeed encountered and bumped into something beyond our plane. They just couldn't put their finger on what exactly. What do you guys think?
Big. Anyway, it's pretty cool. What the hell? No. Nothing there.
A man was out for an evening walk when he spotted something unusual in the sky. He noticed a formation of strange orbs arranged in a triangular shape. The orbs hovered silently for a few moments, creating an eerie and mesmerizing sight. Then, just as mysteriously as they appeared, the orbs vanished into thin air, leaving no trace behind. What could these orbs have been? Were they drones, an aircraft formation, or something more otherworldly? Such sightings often spark debates, with some people attributing them to secret military operations, while others believe they might be evidence of extraterrestrial activity. What do you think these mysterious orbs were? Here we have another strange artifact that was found in Egypt. It's a turquoise-colored object shaped like a car but with 4 legs instead of tires and a head on top. Oddly enough, the head looks like Homer Simpson, which is really strange. It's making people wonder, what could this be? Is it possible that ancient civilizations had advanced technology we don't know about? Could this be evidence that they have some form of vehicle back then? Or maybe it's just an artistic representation of something we don't fully understand. Could it be a coincidence? Or is there more to this? The Tesla company has been doing well in coming up with a lot of innovative tech like robots and even their self-driving cars. Recently, however, a Tesla car owner was in a life-threatening situation. According to him, his driving car could not detect a train ahead, which almost led to a collision. This is where the skeptics against the whole self-driving car jumped out with the "I told you so" card. Perhaps this could be a sign that giving AI control is not the best, but it looks like we're still going on with plans. This will definitely be treated as an obstacle in the pursuit of greatness. At the time of filming the video, Tesla is yet to make an official statement concerning the situation. But what do you think? Is the push to an AI and tech-controlled future the right course, or should we slow down or stop it altogether? Share your thoughts. I'm not exactly sure what to make of this, but this certainly doesn't look right. You guys see a chicken with crab legs too, right? Could it be some sort of hybrid with spliced DNA or surgically altered limbs? At first glance, it's hard to be certain, but after seeing this clip on many paranormal pages and platforms, you start to notice a few things. For instance, there's a noticeable blur beneath the chicken that's definitely not normal. Aside from that, there's also some sort of lag or delay in its movements, which makes the clip look like it's been digitally manipulated or edited in a way. I was not the only one to notice this, as the subsequent pages where it was posted had individuals calling these inconsistencies out. Take these for instance. While everyone was calling out the obvious, another user confirmed everyone's suspicions. This was indeed footage of a regular chicken that had been edited to create this hybrid, or as this user loved to call it, hybrid. Stepping away from the fact that this is obviously fake, would you love to see a creature that's somewhat the hybrid of a chicken and a crab like what's on your screen? Let us know in the comments section. Now look at this, a video of a bull-headed sea lion. Yes, you heard that right. The creature has the body of a sea lion and the head of a bull, complete with horns and all. This bizarre creature is certainly a sight to behold. The juxtaposition of a sea lion's sleek aquatic body with the rugged, horned head of a bull creates an image straight out of mythology or science fiction. But in our age of advanced technology, such creations are often more digital than biological. AI and digital manipulation tools have become increasingly sophisticated, allowing artists and creators to blend reality and fantasy seamlessly. This bull-headed sea lion might be an example. What do you think? Take a look at these rocks at a waterfall and tell me what you see. The rocks are all shaped like snakes, giant snakes. Each and every one of these rocks looks like a giant serpent. Their forms are so precise and lifelike that it's hard to believe they could be natural. What could this mean? Were these massive snakes really existent at some point and ended up petrified or carved in by humans, or is this just a remarkable coincidence of natural formation? The idea of petrified giant snakes brings to mind ancient myths and legends where creatures of such magnitude once roamed the earth. Some cultures believe that petrification is a form of punishment or protection, turning living beings into stone. If these rocks are indeed remnants of giant snakes, it could lend credence to those old tales. On the other hand, nature has a way of surprising us with its creativity. Erosion, mineral deposits, and other geological processes can create astonishing shapes that mimic living forms. These snake-like rocks could be an example of pareidolia, where our minds interpret familiar patterns in random formations. On second thought, the subsequent formations are too intentional to have been created by natural means. My money is either on art by earlier civilizations or petrification. What say you? These men came across a hole in the tunnel, and one of them decided to throw something into the hole. What happened next was terrifying. Did you catch that? A large, dark creature began creeping out of the hole. In a panic, the men quickly used a large stone to cover the hole before the creature could fully crawl out. As you can see from the footage, it took significant effort for both men to keep the creature at bay. The strength and persistence they displayed indicated that whatever was down there was powerful and determined to get out. But what could that be? Some speculate that it might be an unknown subterranean creature, possibly a cryptid, or even something out of a horror movie. Others believe it could be a displaced animal, although its size and the men's struggles suggest otherwise. The mystery remains unsolved, but the footage leaves an unsettling impression of what might be lurking beneath the surface. Unless, of course, it's fake, but don't mind me, it's just the skepticism talking. What are your thoughts on this eerie encounter? Bizarre looking, right? It's got an otherworldly glow and feel to it, so much so that it's almost unreal and unbelievable. What you were seeing was allegedly recorded by someone on one of the paranormal platforms and sent to the admin of the page anonymously. He claims this is real and he'd seen and recorded it with his own eyes, but didn't want to come forward for fear of being targeted by the government and what have you. Once the admin of the page made this known to us, various comments and theories started to fly around. Some thought the possibility of it being real was slim, but not impossible. Others also thought it had to have been digitally created. As the debate raged on, someone pointed out that the object or supposed alien ship looked eerily similar to Atari's Asteroids game. Another mentioned Space Invaders. If you're young and don't really know what those names represent, they were popular games from the early days that you should definitely try. Now, could this have indeed been digitally created using those games as inspiration and building blocks, or were the creators of those games trying to communicate something that they'd seen to us in cryptid form by developing those games? Or is it really nothing more than a poor attempt to mislead us? Hard to say, but share your thoughts. While at sea, on higher ground, someone captured something moving in the water below. It was long blonde hair swirling and making calculated movements on the water's surface. The owner of the hair was, however, nowhere to be seen, but judging by the waves and ripples around the hair, it was evident that something was swimming underneath with hair attached to it. Could this really be a mermaid down there, or is there a more logical explanation? The movements seem too coordinated and the hair too distinct to be just a human swimming, but then again, it could be my bias of wanting to see a mermaid. So what's your take? A genuine mermaid sighting, or just a swimmer with exceptionally long hair? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section. A hiker who'd wandered a little too far into the woods came across something truly strange. Nestled among the trees was one that was twisted like a pretzel. But from the look of this, it doesn't seem like the tree naturally grew that way. Instead, it appears as if something huge twisted up the tree. What could have caused this? Many have speculated that such twists and bends in trees could be the signs of Bigfoot's presence, marking their territory or communicating with others. Others think it might be the result of powerful weather phenomenon or even human activity. Local legends and folklore often speak of creatures with immense strength, capable of bending trees and moving boulders. Could this twisted tree be another piece of evidence supporting these stories, or is there a more scientific explanation that we haven't considered yet? Share your thoughts. A couple in China recently went apartment hunting and found a surprisingly affordable option in a multi-story building. As they toured the available room, they were shocked to discover a huge gap between the bed and the windows, which extended down to the ground floor. It turned out that all the apartments in the building had the same gaping holes. This hazardous design poses a significant risk. If someone were to walk in their sleep or miss a step in the middle of the night, the consequences could be fatal. Despite the affordability of the apartment, the couple were understandably concerned about the safety implications. Would you consider living in such a place given the affordability, or is the safety risk too great? Encountering strange objects in the night sky can be both thrilling and perplexing. One such incident occurred when someone was driving near a forest one night and spotted the edge of a round-looking craft hovering above the trees. The full craft was not in view though, just a little bit to give it that mysterious and otherworldly feel, if you know what I mean. What made this sighting even more intriguing were the lights on the craft, which changed colors intermittently. When the footage of this encounter was shared online, it sparked a flurry of debate. Some viewers speculated that the object could simply be a drone, while others leaned towards a more extraterrestrial explanation, suggesting it might be an unidentified flying object. Then there were some who thought it was fake. The last thing they expected from an alien ship was to have an RGB lighting system. But then again, we can't really dismiss anything till we have enough proof. Can we? Anyway, what's your take on this? Do you think it's just a drone, or could it possibly be something more mysterious like a UFO? You tell me. Take a look at this fascinating artifact recovered in Egypt. It's a carving of a person that appears to be etched into stone. But here's where it gets really intriguing. As you turn the carving, the figure seems to change its position, creating a multi-dimensional effect. It looks like the carving exists in multiple dimensions, which gives it a very trippy and almost surreal appearance. Many believe that ancient Egypt has access to some kind of advanced technology, enabling them to create artifacts that continue to baffle us today. Could this be an example of such technology? What do you think? Moving on from the dry and dusty scenery, we visit one that's purely aquatic, that is made up of water. In the clip, we see a young man climbing into the boat after perhaps swimming or fishing in the water. Not sure why they were filming though, but judging by his body language, this isn't the first time he's done something like this. As we keep watching though, we notice something rather unusual behind him. It looks like a hand, and we're not sure who or what it belongs to. From what we can tell, however, they couldn't and shouldn't qualify as human hands. They appear to be webbed, which means it belongs to something that lives in the water. Seeing this, some in the paranormal community wanted to believe this belonged to either a mermaid or a siren. Given we can only see half of an arm, however, there's not much to go on. Some also think this has got to be fake, and it looks like the boys may have just recorded this for their 5 minutes of fame. While that's not impossible, there's also the possibility that this might be genuine footage. What do you think? Still on the subject of aliens, there's been a lot of footage of suspected UFOs circulating online. Some have been proven to be genuine, while others are more likely to be convincing fabrications. Recently, someone shared a video that has caught significant attention. Although the exact location is unknown, the footage shows the ocean with a nearby island. Out of this island emerges a fleet of disc-shaped crafts, a scene that looks straight out of a sci-fi movie. The crafts ascend into the sky and fly off at a mesmerizing and mysterious spectacle. However, the lack of context around the footage has left many viewers skeptical. While some are captivated and inclined to believe this could be real evidence of extraterrestrial activity, a significant portion of the audience is less convinced. The video's quality and the seemingly perfect execution of the craft's movements have led many to suspect it might be a cleverly edited piece of work. That said, it's important to recognize that skepticism towards this particular footage doesn't necessarily debunk the possibility of actual UFOs. Unfortunately, in a digital age where anyone can create realistic visual effects, it can be challenging to differentiate between genuine sightings and those crafted for attention. What do you think? Could this footage be a glimpse of extraterrestrial activity, or is it another example of impressive video editing? Kids have always been described as having an active imagination, and given the kinds of things they say sometimes, I don't dispute it. But what if sometimes the things they say have nothing to do with imagination? What if they can see things we can't?
¿Quién le estás dando? ¿Eh? ¿Qué hay ahí? ¿Quién está? No sé quién está, amor. No estoy viendo a nadie, hija.
A mother found herself in the same situation when her toddler started to point at a wall. It seems she was saying that there was something or someone there, but the mother could not see anything, and neither can we in the video. This goes on for a while, and the child looks upset by whatever is there. At the end of the video, the child holds her chest and lets out this small cry, almost as if this invisible thing has done something to her.
Chao, decile. ¿Se fue? Ok. ¿Qué? Ay, Dios mío. Me voy a descomponer. ¿Qué pasó, amor?
The mother, after seeing this, was concerned, leading to the upload. A commenter shared that children who were not baptized see things, as her cousin saw her dead grandmother. But we do not know if this child was baptized or if the child is even Catholic, because not all religions baptize children. What do you think of the whole thing, though? A couple was driving by the woods when they noticed something alarming. A very large wolf had emerged from the trees and was now on the road ahead of them, running towards something. To their shock, they saw it was a man riding a bicycle up ahead. To help, the driver began honking the horn loudly, trying to scare the wolf off, but the animal was relentless, darting into the woods only to re-emerge and continue chasing the cyclist. Fortunately, after several attempts, the driver managed to scare the wolf enough that it finally gave up the chase and disappeared in the forest. Wildlife can be very dangerous, especially when you're not in a car. So whenever you're moving through the areas where wild animals might be present, especially on foot or by bike, always be cautious and aware of your surroundings. What you are witnessing is a demonstration of what some believe to be the 5G cocktail effect. In the first clip, a man places a speaker facing upward and drips water droplets onto it. Instead of falling, the droplets appear to float above the speaker and vibrate, seemingly reacting to the sound waves emitted by the speaker. In another demonstration, people at the bar place a bottle of champagne on a table, surrounded by their phones while playing music. Suddenly, the champagne begins to bubble vigorously and the cork pops off, which some attribute to the vibrations and energy from the phones. Proponents of the 5G cocktail effect theory argue that these devices and their associated electromagnetic fields can interact with the water in our bodies. Since the human body is composed of approximately 70% water, they suggest that we might be experiencing reactions to these energies, which could potentially be harmful. This raises concerns about the unseen radiation emitted by these technologies and how it may impact our health. A girl named Valeria shared an eerie video online.
There's someone outside my room. Wait. Hey. Hey. Hey.
She was alone at home, and while she was in a room with the door slightly ajar, she heard a female voice calling out to her saying, "Hey." What made it even more unsettling was that the voice sounded exactly like hers. Panicked, she quickly shut the door and the video ended abruptly. As soon as people saw the footage, many were convinced that Valeria was being haunted by a creature known as a mimic. These creatures, as the name suggests, are believed to lure their victims by calling out to them using their voices, creating a terrifyingly familiar sound to entice them. However, not everyone is convinced. Skeptics argue that the voice could have been a trick of acoustics or perhaps even a neighbor's voice carried through the walls. Others suggest that the footage might be staged, possibly with Valeria using a recording of her voice to create the eerie effect. What do you think?
Hey. Hey.
Next, we have a haunting and chilling story that has surfaced from a hospital in the Philippines. A man, completely alone in his hospital room, filmed his surroundings to show that no one else was there. But when he aimed the camera under his bed, he saw a pair of legs on the other side. Terrified, he immediately stood up to check but found no one there. This eerie footage was submitted to a radio station, sparking widespread speculation. Many believed the legs belonged to a ghost, the spirit of someone who couldn't pay their medical bills. The theory is that even after death, the ghost remains trapped in the hospital because of their unpaid debt. What do you think? Could this be a real haunting, or is there a logical explanation behind the mysterious legs? Next, we've got a celebrity, or rather criminal elephant that appears to have caused a traffic jam on the road. We've seen elephants beg for snacks from drivers in regions like this, but never have we seen one so intent on damaging or sitting on a vehicle. What do you think could have prompted the big guy to do something like this? An act of vengeance, perhaps elephants don't forget? Or is this big guy just being petty and wanting to sit on the vehicle? Frankly speaking, it's hard to say, but what does your power of deduction tell you about this clip? Here we have a hand holding a green bell pepper, but there's something unusual inside the vegetable. The thumb presses into the pepper, exposing a small hole, and you can see something moving inside. After a moment, something emerges. It's a huge brown insect with a black spot on its head. This insect is called Achymidrata tessellata. Discovering an insect inside your food is always unsettling, but this particular find is both fascinating and creepy. While entomologists might enjoy this, the everyday person would not. The Archimandrata tessellata, or giant peppered roach, while beautiful, can be scary if you hate bugs. Nonetheless, its large size and distinctive markings make it a striking and memorable sight. Bell peppers, like many fruits and vegetables, can sometimes harbor insects that burrow inside, looking for a safe place to hide or feed. It's a natural part of the ecosystem, though it's definitely startling to come across such a visitor in your produce. Now let's dive into a piece of footage that might actually have some truth to it. A hunter was out in the forest when he stumbled upon this strange structure. It was made entirely of tree branches carefully arranged to create some sort of fort on the ground. The setup reminds me of the Bigfoot structures that people often report seeing deep in the woods. So the man decided to set up a trail camera facing it directly at the structure. Then he left the camera there for a full 7 days to see if anything would happen. When the hunter returned to retrieve his camera and review the footage, he was shocked by what it captured. Behind the structure, partially obscured by a tree, stood a massive creature. You can clearly see its broad shoulders as it moves around. Even though the footage is a bit blurry, the creature's form is unmistakable. It's huge with an imposing frame. So what do you think? Could this be the real deal? A resident in the Netherlands recently shared this intriguing footage captured one evening. In the sky, there's a strange orb glowing brightly. Its light pulses, shining intensely for a moment, then dimly down before glowing again. With all the recent global frenzy surrounding UFO sightings, this footage raises questions. Could this be yet another sighting of an unidentified flying object? The way the light behaves is unusual, making it hard to dismiss it as a simple plane, drone, or weather balloon.
Que se ve mejor. Okay. Ajá. Se fue. Para que se veamos cuando sigamos. Para que vean de que no. Si alguien puede ver que se va, no se va. Ahí le entramos.
Ahí se ve como una calavera.
Aparece, ajá. Y desapareció. Desapareció. Chao.
A resident in San Juan province took this footage late at night when everyone else had retired to bed. The residents were about to go to sleep when they noticed a strange person standing in front of their house. From the second floor, the camera looked down at the mysterious figure. This strange person was dressed in a dark shirt and trousers. What made the scene even more eerie was that the intruder seemed to be holding something and, upon blowing on it, caused flames to emit. The flames danced for a moment before the person made them vanish, leaving the observer in awe and confusion. The figure's actions and appearance sure don't resemble a normal human. The resident, understandably shaken, shared the footage online where it sparked a flurry of theories and speculations. Some viewers suggested it could be a street performer or someone playing a prank, but the eerie silence of the night and the mysterious behavior led many to believe something more sinister was at play. What do you think? Could this strange figure be a practitioner of dark arts, an entity from another realm, or simply an elaborate hoax?
Okay. C'est quoi?
A woman by the name of Mandy from Massachusetts took to social media to share some haunting footage she captured on a Door-Ring camera. According to her account, she lives near the forest and has been hearing and experiencing strange things in her home. So she set up the camera to capture whatever it was. Take a look and listen carefully. There are strange scratching sounds and noises from something. It's like a grunt of some sort, but not really human. Most people are speculating that there could be a skinwalker out there, while some say it might be a Bigfoot, but skeptics just think she's making up the whole story. Personally, I don't think so, because at one point she even has to get the police involved. I doubt someone just making false stories for social media would go as far as getting the cops involved, unless, of course, she's that determined to come off as genuine. So what do you think we're dealing with here? Are these sounds evidence of a skinwalker or Bigfoot, or is there a more rational explanation? Share your thoughts. A woman had put her baby to sleep one night and was keeping an eye on the child through the baby monitor. Sometime in the middle of the night, a child woke up, so she glanced at the monitor to check what was happening. That's when she noticed something strange. A baby was in the crib as usual, crawling on all fours, but facing the side of the crib that was near the wall. Now here's where it gets unsettling. When she looked at the wall, she saw the image of another child, an older one, crouched down, directly staring at the baby in the crib. That wasn't terrifying enough. At the top of the monitor image, there appeared to be the face of a man staring down at the baby as well. Here's the chilling part. The woman has only one child, the one in the crib. The other child on the floor, that wasn't hers. The image is a bit hazy, but the eerie clarity of the crouching child in the face above makes this sight even more haunting. Since that night, the woman no longer lets her baby sleep alone. She keeps the child with her at all times. But what are the entities in that room with the baby doing? Have you ever wondered why ants are so dedicated to carrying food back to their hidden nests? Well, prepare to have your mind blown. Humans aren't the only ones who go the extra mile to ensure there's food on the table. Even tiny creatures like ants have complex systems for survival. What you're looking at here are leaf-cutter ants, and their process is fascinating. These ants don't gather food for themselves directly. Instead, they bring leaves back to their nests, not to eat, but to feed a specific type of fungus. Here's the amazing part. The fungus depends on the ants to survive as it can't get or process its own food. In return, the fungus produces gongolidia, tiny nutrient-rich structures that serves as the ant's primary food source. It's like a barter system between two completely different species. The ants produce food for the fungus, and the fungus gives back in the form of nourishment for the colony. Isn't it incredible how nature works? A woman who had just moved into her new home shared an unsettling video online that has since left viewers with chills. In the footage, her back patio is dimly lit, with a lone rocking chair gently moving back and forth. Yet there's no one sitting in it. She mentioned that this wasn't the first time she noticed the chair rocking on its own. It had happened twice before, always without explanation. Determined to capture the strange occurrence, she recorded the scene, and sure enough, the chair moved as if an invisible presence was sitting there. Even more unnerving, her dog, usually calm, was visibly distressed, barking aggressively at the seemingly empty chair. Could it be that her new home is haunted by a spirit that favors the rocking chair, or is there another explanation for this mysterious event? This video was taken in a graveyard, and it raises more questions than answers. A passerby noticed something strange about this figure, and no, according to the uploader, it's not human. It's supposed to be a statue. But here's the eerie part. The statue is moving, sliding sideways as if it's alive. Statues are meant to stand still, so seeing one move like this is beyond unsettling. What could possibly explain this? Is it a ghostly activity or a hoax? It seems we're just a few years away from machines taking over. Take a look at this. This is Archax, a towering robot designed in Japan. What makes Archax incredible is that it's fully controlled by a pilot who sits inside. The mechanical giant stands at an impressive 15 feet tall and looks straight out of a sci-fi movie, but don't let its sleek design fool you. This thing has power. With one move, it looks like it could crush anything or anyone in its path. It's fascinating, but also unsettling. Could robots like Archax represent the future of warfare? Will battlefields soon be dominated by machines like this with humans piloting from within? It's a thrilling yet chilling glimpse into what might lie ahead. What do you think? Are machines like Archax the future, or is this a step too far? This next image comes from the infamous West Virginia Penitentiary, a place that once held some of the most hardened criminals. Known for its grim history, the prison has long been a hotspot for eerie tales and paranormal encounters. A visitor recently toured the site and snapped this photo. At first, nothing seems unusual, but when they got home and reviewed the pictures, they noticed something chilling. Take a closer look. There's a ghostly figure in the frame. It's translucent, but you can clearly make out skeletal, pale face. Places like this, steeped in history and tragedy, are often believed to harbor residual spirits. Could this figure be one of the penitentiary's past inmates, still lingering in the shadows of its dark corridors?
Все, канал, блядь. Ёб твою мать. Ой, кошмар какой.
This video was shared from China, showing a line of cars parked by a retaining wall. One of the car owners drives away just in time, sensing something wrong with the wall. As time passes, you can see the walls start to bulge slightly, and then, slowly, it collapses. The wall gives way, sending trees, soil, and debris spilling over the parked cars. There had been heavy rains in the area, and it seems the wall's drainage system wasn't effective, causing the soil to become waterlogged and weakening the structure. Fortunately, no one was nearby when the disaster struck. Not sure the insurance company is going to be too happy about this one, though.
Все, канал, блядь. Ёб твою мать. Ой, кошмар какой.
Oh my god, I'm sorry. I found, it was live streaming, and then I found this, that's like I found this bone, and it looks like a hip bone of a human, and it looks like it's been cut off, MacLeod, and that looks like the bit that you put a leg into.
In this unsettling footage, a woman is visibly distressed and even in tears as she discovers what appears to be part of a human hip bone lying on the ground. The bone looks like it's been cut, which only adds to the eerie nature of the find. Her reaction, trembling and crying, suggests that she believed it to be real, which raises serious concerns. What could have happened? There are a lot of fake human beings out there, but the woman's genuine fear and emotional response make this situation particularly alarming. If the bone is real, it could indicate something far more sinister, and authorities would need to be notified immediately to investigate. The authenticity of the bone remains uncertain, but the possibility that it could be real is disturbing. What are your thoughts? Okay, now we've explained what this particular process is on more than one occasion. It still looks really, really freaky though.
와, 미쳤다. 우와. 상호가 뭐예요, 사장님?
놀라실 건데.
I mean, it's just weird. However you look at it, it's just weird.
야, 껍데기 딱 뜯기가 나오는구나.
But, why does this always seem to happen in China and Japan and places like that? I've never been into a restaurant in England and seen someone cook meat in front of me that's still moving. Never seen it. So why is this always happening in Asian countries?
와, 미쳤다. 우와. 상호가 뭐예요, 사장님?
놀라실 건데.
놀랄게요.
불끈불끈.
불끈불끈. 야, 껍데기 딱 뜯기가 나오는구나.
With that, I think we're going to end today's episode. So, has anybody got any videos out there? You got anything you can show us? If you do, could you please send them to classifiedcaptures@gmail.com. We'll stick them on an episode, and we will even mention that you sent them. If you want. If you want your name out there, let us know. Share this with as many people as you can. I've been Steve. This has been Classified Captures, and I'll see you in the next episode.